Hey there, everyone. Welcome back. The Wuthering Waves dev team has responded to the anniversary live stream backlash. Backlash, putting it mildly there. And in fact, before the announcement this morning on Monday, they even opened up the Discord server channel regarding the anniversary live stream to collect feedback, which I thought was a pretty bold thing to do. You're basically just inviting the most toxic comments you could probably find. But they did that because I think genuinely Kuro is committed to at least more transparency than other gacha games or live service games would have you believe that they are. And so they're at least trying to do the right thing. If you want my 10-second what the anniversary live stream thing was to me, I think that for a normal patch, it looks incredible. Every patch for Wuthering Waves after those first initial hurdles have been really good. The problem was that it didn't feel like an anniversary. They were using the anniversary to capitalize on, exposure and getting new players or returning players back. And they really didn't do a lot for people who don't spend a ton of money, like the top-up reset and all that. Or anyone who's been, playing for a really long time. A lot of that acknowledgement felt lackluster. Okay. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm excited for the new patch. I'm disappointed that it didn't pay homage to the players who have been keeping the game alive this long, so that we could see a 1-year anniversary. You know what I mean? Okay, so let's go through this real quick. To our dear rovers, regarding the version 2.3 preview special broadcast. Notice they're not talking about the anniversary. Interesting. It's just version 2.3, which is exactly how it felt. And it maybe shouldn't feel that way. After the Wuthering Waves 2.3 special broadcast, we received plenty of suggestions, thoughts, and criticisms from you. We've been paying close attention to all feedback, and we'd like to take this opportunity to address your concerns and sincerely apologize for the disappointment. Which is really nice, because they didn't have to do that. They could have just said, suck it. You know what I mean? Like, we've made our money. Yeah. But they're not. I think they're genuinely committed to trying to make a good experience. Our roadmap for the recent versions of Wuthering Waves allocated development resources to an anniversary experience in version 2.3 that is both relaxing and entertaining. I don't know how I feel about that. It's relaxing and entertaining. Like, okay. The broadcast was very high effort. That is very true. It still felt like a lot of talking. And there were some exciting moments, right? There's a collab with Cyberpunk. We're getting summer skins. The Zani content looks hype, right? A lot of good stuff in there. I just think when you open it with this little black box intended to be like, hey, look at this 1-year anniversary special you're about to experience, the spectacle you're about to endure, and then it just kind of feels like a normal patch with like the beginner bonus stuff for new players getting reset, or what feels like 10 extra pulls compared to normal patches. Like it doesn't feel that great, though the orchestra at the end was pretty hype. However, this allocation did not meet our rovers' expectations for an anniversary celebration. Yes, okay, so they clearly know what the issue is. It's about the anniversary. It's not about the patch. The patch looks sick. It's not an anniversary patch. I will die on that hill. Disappointed or not, it's not like worthy of what a 1-year anniversary would be. When you get to year 9, like Fire Emblem Heroes, for example, people expect you to be lazy. And even Heroes wasn't lazy this year. You know what I mean? It's like, bruh. Anyway, at the same time, we fell short in how broadcast was structured, scripted, and presented, leading a poor viewer experience. We at the dev team have identified and acknowledged certain shortcomings in our content management preparation and delivery. Yeah. So I think what they mean by this is, hey, we put you on like a 10-minute countdown screen of just staring at this like present box that was on a desk, and then there was this like whole 2-minute intro where Solon was trying to deliver the presents to the broadcast, and at the very end we got to see what was in it. It was a cake. So cool, because the whole thing was about the anniversary, but it just felt like an anniversary patch. Or it didn't feel like an anniversary patch. It felt like a normal patch, right? So yeah, they missed the mark on that one. Okay, what happened has shown us even more clearly that Wuthering Waves' accomplishments over the past year would not have been possible without our rovers. A little parasocial there, especially rovers who have been with us on this journey from the very start. Yep. So they are clearly aware, okay, that longtime players are a little bit pissy about this, okay? And you know what? It's fair of them to be a little bit upset, okay? Whales got fresh top-ups. New players are getting a refresh on the year-long event that allowed them to get a free 5-star. Everybody gets all the other same rewards. There's nothing like... Okay, you got a free Sanwa skin in 2.0. You remember that? I don't care if they don't want to give you a free 5-star character. That's chill. But what's wrong with a cosmetic skin? Yeah, do a special anniversary cosmetic skin. And if you don't want to put it on a different character, put it on Rover. Everybody has Rover. You're intentionally giving Rover different forms that make them good to play, or at least feel good to play, right? So like that's for everybody. And like the mask with Renacida, just make it show up in cutscenes. That's something you can do. For God's sake, you're getting a crown on your birthday. Why not do a cosmetic like that for the anniversary? Bro, how did we miss the mark this bad for a 1-year anniversary? It's crazy. It's great. There's so many like simple little things they could have done that would have made it feel so much better and make like, regular players feel accomplished or something. Very frustrating. We want you to know that we are planning future versions with you in mind. Long-term players. They are planning future versions with long-term players in mind. Okay? They're trying not to lose the base of their players. Yes. So please stay tuned for more updates. Again, we deeply apologize for failing to meet the expectations of our longtime rovers. They definitely get the message. They get the message that people that had been playing the game for a very long time did not feel heard, seen, or appreciated. And I think that's totally fine. I think that is a very legitimate feeling to have, frankly. We also recognize that there is still much room for improvement in how we operate and support the game long term. Yeah, so just resetting the top up isn't going to cut it. I also will point out they have done, I think, 2 updates per patch where it's like introductory spending packages. And I think that's great for what it's worth. I don't look, buying the base pack of stuff feels terrible. It feels awful. Okay. You're dropping $100 to get like 50 pulls. It doesn't guarantee anything, right? But if you get a nice little booster pack for $9.99 or even $19.99, oh, that feels kind of nice. I'm not spending $100 to also not get anything. You know what I mean? Like, I appreciate that they do that, and I think they should continue to do that. Not because it would also help in being a predatory gacha game, but because it's different tiering, right? Because who's gonna buy the base pack for $10? What, you want 8 pulls? What is that? What's that gonna accomplish? Literally nothing. Anyway, To express our gratitude and sincerest apologies, we'll be launching a login event this week where the following content will be available to unlock and claim. The opening time will be given in a later official announcement. And that login event is going to give players 10 Radiant Forging and Lustrous Tides. So basically, 10 weapon pulls, 10 base pulls, 10 limited pulls. Which, okay, that's cool. It would have felt better if you had made a big deal about that in the anniversary. Oh, sorry, not anniversary. The 2.3 special program. It would have felt better if you had done that then. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how they were tone deaf to this. Because every player has huge expectations for the first anniversary. Second anniversary? Third anniversary? Fifth? Yes, you better bring it. It's the ones in the fives, bro. 1, 5, 10, 15, 20. You gotta bring game for those anniversaries. Everybody knows this. Okay? And we're not asking for free stuff necessarily, or at least logical people are not asking for like free 5 stars every anniversary or whatever. But like, make it feel special and make it feel tributed to your long-term players who have kept your game alive for a year. Because the launch was terrible. I'm going to keep it a buck. The reason I kept playing was because I wanted to see where it went. I saw the response from the 1.0 launch. They were quick to make updates, hot patches, anything that they could do to make the experience better. They were dedicated to listening, and they did what they said they were going to do, like, for the most part. And I said, you know what? Okay, that is a game worth following because it can only continue to get better, right? Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit here. If you don't keep pressure on, you can't necessarily hold them accountable. So that when they do stuff that maybe is unintentionally tone deaf, right? Missing the mark without really meaning to miss the mark. They don't know that. And so if they only get positive feedback, okay, then they are not going to know when they've messed up. Because I genuinely do believe that Kuro will make corrections when they mess up. They're not going to just say, well, that's what we're doing, so eat it. Like a certain Genshin Impact game would. Right? But at the same time, just because something doesn't meet player expectations, you can't be ranting and raving about how you want everything in the world. You want, a free limited 5-star selector and, all of this stuff. You can't be greedy, I guess, for lack of better phrasing. Now, that said, should the anniversary banner not have a 50-50? Yes. It should not have a 50-50. 100%. That should be just selected right up. And, by max pity, you get the thing that you have selected. There should not be a 50-50 on that. That does not make it an anniversary banner. That makes it a rerun banner with more options. That's it. Okay? So I get the frustration on there. For those people who are just wanting a free 5-star, bro, that's crazy. Okay, you can't have expectations like that all the time. Free 5 stars, frankly, are typically from when they really mess up. Okay, and if you get outrageous with your demands, they're just gonna stop listening to that. Because there's a point in time where they can't make certain things happen for a player base that has overreaching expectations. Okay, they're gonna have to draw a line in the sand somewhere. So, overall, I think they know they missed the mark. I think they're working to try and fix it. I will be paying very close attention to this part. Okay. I want to pay attention to the future versions that have long-term players in mind, and we'll see what happens. All right. That's what I'm waiting for. But overall, I think it was good that they at least acknowledged it. This is kind of cool. I don't really care about that much, though, to be honest with you. I wanted cool cosmetic anniversary things that everybody had access to that, weren't necessarily based around polling for characters, or I wanted to celebrate the game in a 1-year anniversary fashion. And it didn't really have that. They celebrated birthdays more than they did the anniversary. Think about that. The anniversary update had less player fanfare than they would show the player's character on their like selected birthday in game. Let that sit in, bro. You got to make it special. That's the answer, Anyway, that's gonna do it for me. I think it was good of Kuro to respond. I think some of the demands are a little outrageous, but it is what it is. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.